friends, Shabbat Shalom. Welcome to our Yom Kippur service. Now, it's the holiday where you wear white, and I've got my white kippah on. Now, we talked last time that Rosh Hashanah is more of a listening holy day than a visual one. And thanks to an email from Lorna who wanted to listen to the Rosh Hashanah service, and to the many who do prefer to just listen, I was going to just make this an audio service this week, but I've had a lot of requests to do a video also, so I'm going to, as you can see, I'm filming this, but hey, you don't have to watch it, you can simply listen to it. So that's what we're going to do. Hey, it's not like there's much to see. Okay, now, I have here, just bear with me for a minute. Here we go. Here is my Yom Kippur book. And it weighs about 6 hours, maybe 8 hours. Now, we're not going to do that. We will do this in probably less than an hour. The audio is in 2 parts, and it only runs about 40 minutes. So make yourselves comfortable. Take a deep breath and relax. And do not be afraid to hit the pause button if you need a break, or if something strikes you that you want to think about or follow up on. We will not do everything. We will do what makes this a special day. Many want things to happen automatically. I go to all-day Yom Kippur service, and for some that's the infliction of the day. And so I should be absolved. It's not quite like that. Now, if you ask, most will tell you Yom Kippur is a special day because it's the only sanctioned day of atonement in the year. The problem is many people just aren't sure what they're atoning for. And of course, it is a Shabbat. It is a ceasing. We are told that on the first day of the 7th month, it is a Shabbat, a ceasing, and on the 10th day, it is a Shabbat, a ceasing. We cease all other activities. We examine. We began to examine on Rosh Hashanah, the day of trumpet sounding, Yom Teruah. And our job for the day, for today, is we are to degrade ourselves. We afflict ourselves as we were once afflicted when we had a slave mentality. And for many who still do have a slave mentality, this may help to free you. Now, this was a whole 10-day period, as I talked about before, and for the second day of Rosh Hashanah, I, along with several other rabbis, were part of a study that looked at what people enjoyed and or did not enjoy about the services, and what could be done to try and create a stronger connection to the purpose of the holy days. And so we spent time with Reform, Conservative, and Orthodox groups. And what we found in our brief discussions afterwards is the Orthodox enjoyed it the most because it was the same. There were no differences. They knew what to expect and they got it. Now the Conservatives felt it went a little too long. They wanted something a little bit different because it was the same as they had always experienced, and they found the rabbis said more or less the same things. So they would have liked it a little bit different, but they didn't get different. And they didn't actually know what they wanted that would have given them a better connection. And the Reform were happy to see people they hadn't seen in a while and look forward to catching up, but again, felt the service was the same as they experienced growing up and did not know it could be different or how it could be different. Now, unfortunately, we have become part of a system that sells memberships, counts on less than 20% of the members availing themselves of regular services, and then sells tickets for the 2 days of the year the other 80% members think they should go. Now, that's a model that will not fulfill future generations who need to re-engage, be re-energized, and feel a desire to reconnect to their spiritual souls. Now, Three Dog Night sang that great Nilsson song, "One is the Loneliest Number." Friends, you are that one. The holiest day of the year, you observe alone in the biggest crowd. You are one part of millions participating with what you are doing, thinking what you think, feeling what you feel, all parts of each other's souls, and not even noticing. Now, in ancient times, The atonement was done by the high priest on behalf of the community, as we read about. But today, we each seek it wholly by ourselves, either alone or in a group. We no longer practice sacrifices in the temple. Of course, we no longer have a temple. And so we each act as high priest, Kohen Gadol, as we approach the Holy of Holies in the temple of our hearts, and we each atone individually. I hear the dogs are coming for the service. That's fantastic. On Yom Kippur, you give a little to get a lot. It's a fantastic deal. You give up very little in order to get a lot. So, we're going to make this a bit of a musical one. So let's call our group together. Well, we're going to begin with, that folk song, Hine Matov. And it's simply a gathering together of the people. Hine Matov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine Matov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine Matov shevet achim gam. How good and how pleasant it is for brothers and sisters together. How good and how pleasant it is for brothers and sisters together. Community, community, community together. This is one of those meditative songs that, you could just go on and on and on. And it's just about calling the people together, and it's about the community that gets formed by people of like mind. And we are all like-minded. So welcome, everybody. This is your personal call to prayer. The individual connection that you make to your private communication with your divinity. And as we did for Rosh Hashanah, and as people really liked so much, we're going to go back to the invocation of our senses. So let's pause for a second, and let's get the things we're going to need. A candle, a beverage, a spice, a cloth, or water, and an instrument or bell is something that will make a sound, to honor the sound of life, the sound of the wheels of time. So, put it on pause for a minute, go get all those things, and then join me in engaging our senses. And we'll start with flame, and I have my candle here, and I'm not very good at lighting things, but so I'm sure you can see that. Flame reminds us that within each of us lives the divine fire that can illuminate the darkest of places. May this light enable you to see the work that needs to be done and the awesome majesty of creation. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel yom tov. See the flame dance in front of you, my friends. The great gift of Prometheus and the single tool that changed mankind forever, the great illuminator. Blessed are you, source of life, who makes us holy with commandments and instructs us to kindle the lights of this good day. Now here, I didn't even bring a cup, but we raise our cup, thankful for the partnership we have with creation. May the fruits of the earth nourish each of us and sustain us throughout our journey. So please raise your cup, ignore me. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei pri hagafen. Take a drink of something that reminds you that we get our sustenance from the earth. Blessed are you, source of life, who creates the fruit of the vine. Invisible. The sense of smell comes to us through the air. We breathe in the fragrances of life and we awaken. And in our breath, we sound the name of the Creator, awakening us to the creative force that gives breath to all life. May the breath of the universe rouse each of us to strength and to passion. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei minei v'samim. Smell the spice that you have chosen, one of the many gifts of the earth. Blessed are you, beloved one, who creates the varieties of spices. We think of touch through our hands, holding a beloved, comforting a friend, planting a garden, wrapping ourselves in the talit, the cloth, and traditions of our ancestors. May we always know the love and safety we can find wrapped within our own rich traditions. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu el mitzvat tzitzit. Wrap yourselves up, my friends, in a talit, in a scarf, in a tartan, in something that gives you the sense of tradition. Blessed are you, source of life, who commands us to wrap ourselves in the radiance of creation. And of course, one of the great things we touch in so many of our celebrations and work to invoke when we do celebrate is purity. And we do so by feeling water splash over us and cleanse us of our day-to-day being. It is a spiritual experience, and it removes any evil spirits from our auras and helps sanctify us for the holy time. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu el natalit yadayim. Feel the water pour over your hands as you cleanse away the invisible negative energy that might have attached there. Blessed are you, source of life, who has sanctified us and commanded us about washing our hands. There's a rhythm to the day, to the week, to the year, to life itself, and to all creation. Whether we know the words or just hum along, we can always feel the music. May we all continue to hear and to dance to our own beat. May the source of life and all it is be a blessing to you. Welcome, friends. This is the concluding half of what began 10 days ago with Rosh Hashanah, the head of the year, the Yom Teruah, the day of trumpet blaring, the wake-up call to take stock of who you are. It is an individual introspection. No one else is examining you, just you. For many, it is you on behalf of your choice of divinity, and that is how the prayer service is designed. You examine you as agent for your God. It is the Day of Atonement at 1 mint. It is just for you. Now, on the first day of this 10-day period, on that day, the books of judgment were opened on Rosh Hashanah, and we were written in it. We were inscribed, Ketiva. We've now spent 10 days thinking of the choices we have made this year, the hurts we have done and the hurts we have felt, the promises we made, the ones we kept and the ones we did not, the intentions we had for as many of the things that we could remember, because sometimes we do not remember what our intentions were. But we had an opportunity during these 10 days of awe to take stock of ourselves, to repent for what we need to repent for, to ask forgiveness from the three great spirits, not the ones from A Christmas Carol, but from the spirit of others who we have harmed. The spirit of nature, or God, who we have harmed. You know, we've done harm, to not just us, but we've done harm to the universe. And the spirit of our soul we have harmed. Don't forget, it is your intention, your kavanot, which set in motion the harm or good that you do. And now the 10 days are almost over, and the books will be sealed. Chatima. Right? And that's why, we have Ketiva, inscribed V'chatima, sealed Tov, for good, for a good year. Let us be inscribed and sealed for a good year. This is a holy day, and it's a holy day about living and dying and the choice we make. And this verse from the Unatana Tokef prayer really sums up the entire 10-day high holiday period. On Rosh Hashanah it is written, and on Yom Kippur it is sealed. How many shall pass on? How many shall come to be? Who shall live? Who shall die? Who shall see ripe age, and who shall not? Who shall perish by fire, and who by water? And of course, I think that's a great time for the Leonard Cohen version of the Tanatoka, who by fire, right? Because I think it's probably where he got it from. And who by fire, who by water, who in the sunshine, who in the night time, who by high ordeal, who by common trial, who in your merry, merry month of May, who by very slow decay, and who shall I say is calling? Now, I'm not the best performer. So we'll just move along, but it's nice to add music. And, we just got to remember that we have to think about where we hear things from. And I would go and I would listen to the Leonard Cohen, Who by Fire. Now, Leviticus presents the 2 holy days. The first day of the 7th month, the Yom Teruah, the day of horn blasting, Rosh Hashanah, and the 10th day of the 7th month, the day of atonement, at one-ment, as one continuous narrative. They are connected, my friends. And on this day of atonement, we are to degrade ourselves, or as we say now, we don't say degrade, we say we afflict ourselves. And everybody's version of affliction is slightly different, right? And it's all part and parcel of this process that it's a means of teshuvah, of repentance, of returning. And we do try and return to the paths of holiness that we walked before. We've always been on a path of holiness. We were born on the path. We get off it every so often. We hop back on and we hop off. And it's like those great hop on, hop off sightseeing buses. I love them when I travel because they give me a great overview of a city. And then I can explore. Oh, friends, we spend our lifetimes hopping on and hopping off the most awesome hop on, hop off bus there is, and exploring the paths of life and the spiritual paths of the tree of life. And it's great to be able to hop on and hop off, and to know that you have a mechanism every year that allows you to connect, to reconnect, to hop on and off, and have that ticket automatically renewed with no additional fee. Now, all it takes is your intention. And that's what this day is all about. It's about the intentions that we have. And it doesn't need to be solely a day for affliction. We're called upon to degrade ourselves, to afflict ourselves. But we also need to, acknowledge that, we, by singing songs of praise for God, for being the omniscient, omnipotent, all-forgiving Spirit that He or She is. Because we have to acknowledge that, it's not just us out there. We are part of a bigger thing. Father of night, Father of day, Father who takes the darkness away, Father who teaches the bird to fly, builder of rainbows up in the sky, Father of loneliness and pain, Father of love and Father of rain. Father of day, Father of night, Father of black and Father of white, Father who built a mountain so high, shapes the cloud up in the sky, Father of time, Father of dreams, Father who turns the rivers and streams. And you know what? We do have a fantastic God who provides for everything, right? Provides the grain, the wheat, the cold and the heat, air and trees, who dwells in our hearts and our memories. So, we need to take some time and not just suffer, but we need to honor on this day as well. See, the 25 hours of Yom Kippur, the day of lot casting, or the Day of Atonement, and the great story of lot casting is in the Torah reading that we'll address, but the holy day begins with an incredible Aramaic legal formula, all about the annulment of vows. The Kol Nidre, all vows. And I see that the Catholic Church is going to streamline the ability to get marriage annulled. Well, welcome to the 21st century, folks. The Kol Nidre is not a prayer. Kol Nidre, all vows. It's a legal formula that became a significant part of the liturgy in the 1400s because it allowed the conversos, the Spanish and Portuguese Jews who were forced to convert during the Spanish Inquisition, to annul the vows of conversion. Now, it was written hundreds of years earlier, but took its greatest significance from that period of the Spanish Inquisition. And we've talked about the origin of the word nidre, vow, before. And this is a prayer that's chanted 3 times in increasing volume. And it's certainly one of the most powerful pieces of Jewish liturgy. And friends, there's so many fantastic versions of it, but I still happen to love the Perikomo version. And there was a great change that took place in the wording by Rashi's son-in-law, Rabbi Meir ben Samuel, who changed the phrase from the last day of atonement until this one to from this day of atonement until the next. And therefore changed the nature of the prayer from one concerned with the unfulfilled obligations of the past to one of vows which one may or may not be able to fulfill in the future. And you will hear it both ways when you're at your synagogues. And sometimes you'll hear it with both, and sometimes you'll only hear it with one. But it is an incredibly powerful piece, and it really does set the whole tone for the 25 hours for people. And it's I do encourage you all to go to Yom Kippur Kol Nidre. If you do nothing else, go to Kol Nidre service. Kol Nidre va'esarei ushvuei v'cheramei ve'konamei ve'kunesei ve'huneyei Ishtabana Acharimna Udasana Al Nafshatana Miyom Kippurim Ze Ad Yom Kippurim Haba Aleinu Letova. All vows, oaths, promises, which we made to God and were not able to fulfill, from last Yom Kippur to this Yom Kippur, or from this Yom Kippur to the next. May all such vows between ourselves and God be annulled. May they be void and of no effect. May we be absolved of them and released from them. May these vows not be considered vows. These oaths not be considered oaths. And these promises not be considered promises. You see, friends, there was a palpability to what man said. It was real, it existed, it had substance. We see words differently today. Now, it's a fantastic tune that builds, and by its being repeated 3 times, it guarantees that everybody gets to hear it. So take a few minutes and listen to a version of it. There are so many on the internet, and they are truly moving. Friends, this is a day of atonement at one moment. and individual reconciliation of who you were, who you are, who you want to be. And because it is a celestial judgment time, we need to call out, to honor, to invoke the One, the Creator, the Great Spirit, and that ode to monotheistic belief, the Shema, right? And that's just an honoring of God. Shema Israel Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad Baruch Shem Kavod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed. Hear Israel, our Lord is God. The Lord is the one. Blessed is the name of the glory of your kingship forever and ever. And forever and ever, of course, in Buzz Lightyear language would be to infinity and beyond. Now, friends, this is the holy day when you do a very special Amida, the regular standing silent prayer. Because these, during Yom Kippur, it's, 4 or 5 or 6 times during the whole process of it, you're going to do the Vidui, the confessional, the Alchet confession of sins, and you pound your chest with the litany of confessions. And it is one of the favorite parts of the service for so many people. Now, I personally love the confession section. It's a very different prayer service. It's broken into 2 parts: the confession of good deeds we have failed to perform, and one for the transgressions that we have committed. And it forces people to examine themselves in a way that they did not have to on an ongoing basis, because they're confronted by these 44 things. There's 44 statements involved. Not so much mistakes as they are root issues. And it's not something that's read silently, even though it comes on the heels of a silent prayer. It's an admission, and it's designed to be cathartic. And now they say confession's good for the soul, and I'm not sure who the they is, but it is a fantastic part of the service. And if anybody would like a copy of the Vidui for Yom Kippur, send me an email, and I will send you one. Because it is a little bit different. We do confessions for dying and for other reasons, but the confessions at Yom Kippur are very special ones. Oh, please, God and God of our fathers, let our prayer come before you, and do not hide yourself from our supplication. I make my transgression known to you, and I do not deny my sins. And we go on with this list, and the list goes on and on and on of things. Some we've done, some we've never done, as far as we're concerned. And it's anything from eating forbidden foods to causing wickedness, giving bad advice, lying, ridiculing, and on and on. Certainly more than enough to end up on Santa's naughty list, and containing things we will have done to others, things we will have done to ourselves, and things we will have done to God or the universe. All the areas for which we are to seek forgiveness. And it is an amazing piece of liturgy on its own, but more so, friends, because this may very well probably be the oldest piece of religious liturgy anywhere. Although I may be the only one to truly believe that. once presented a paper in which I proposed that this prayer service had its roots in the oldest known religious text on earth, the so-called pyramid text, from at least approximately 4,400 years ago, well before Abraham or Moses. But that too is another discussion. But it says, we have sinned knowingly. We've eaten forbidden foods. We have robbed. We have been arrogant. We've caused corruption, injustice, iniquity. We have extorted and exploited other people. We took things which do not belong to us. We have been jealous and envious. We were not grateful, happy, satisfied. And the list goes on and on. But friends, it is your opportunity to review the questions of the 42 assessors, which this prayer is based upon, and to correct your ways. It is a calling out to say, okay, I've done these things, I've got to stop. Again, it's what was your intention? It's all about our intention. We can, bring our attention back into play and intend to make changes. We then have a fascinating Torah reading. The Torah reading for this holy day is simply a fascinating one. It is the reminder that the people are holy, and it explains the process for the poor, the lot casting or dice rolling over the two goats, the one for God and the one for Azazel, the other one that's listed, that strange being we know nothing about, and the special service in the holy temple that cleanses the people with a sacrifice unlike any other. Now, aside from the obvious that this parsha talks of, the cleansing of sin, of iniquity, of all the things that we do, inadvertently or purposefully, all the things that go back to our intention, our kavanah. Well, how often have you felt that it was the luck of the draw that you did this or that? Went here or there, said, there, but for the grace of God go I. Or thank God, I was in the right place at the right time. Or if only I had picked up the phone, looked the other way, thought before I spoke. This is what that reading is about, friends. This is what this holy day is about. We take stock of ourselves, who we are, where we are, how we came to be here, who we knew, who we love, what we need to do to set the universe right. And we can, each of us, set our part of the universe right. And friends, this is one of the 4 times during the year we communally observe the Mourner's Kaddish, to say goodbye to those we have lost. Yit Gadol v'Yit Shmei Rabbah, Ba'alma Divrei Chirchutei v'Yam Lich Malchutei. Glorified and sanctified be God's great name. In the world that He created according to His will, may He establish His kingdom in your lifetimes and in your days, and in the lifetimes of the entire family of Israel, speedily and soon. Now say amen. May His great name be blessed forever and ever. We have all lost ones we loved. Our souls connect through the echoes of eternity. And those connections last forever, my friends. It is a chance to say goodbye again and to keep them in our thoughts, our hearts, our souls. And we all know people who need healing, in this lifetime. We all know people who need energy because they're ill. They're the infirm, the sad, the lonely. And so now's a great time to think about those people and send out, some healing energy to the people that, need healing energy. And as we do the Misha Berach, think of the names and, maybe even call them out. Misha Berach Avotenu Makor HaBracha Imotenu. May the source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, Help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Mishaberach Imotenu Makor HaBracha Lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah Shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit. Let us say, Amen. Think of people who you know need help, who need to have healing energy sent to them. Call their names out, think of them. Because these are the people in our lives. These are the people that we need to connect to. These are the people we need to send our good energy out to. The more good energy we send out, the better it is. And of course, this is, also the time of the year where we do, we talked about it last time, the Avenu Malkeinu, our Father, our King, as the books are sealed. The Avenu Malkeinu is probably, at this point, the oldest and most moving of the litanies of the Jewish year. Especially that final verse, which can also be sung as one of our meditative prayers, and which everyone who hears is certainly struck by. And, everybody, knows it, and everybody, thinks of it of Avenu Malkeinu. Avenu Malkeinu, Avenu Malkeinu, Hanenu Vanenu, Ki en Banu Masim, Asay Imanu, Tzedaka v'chesed, Asay Imanu, Tzedaka v'chesed, Vihoshienu, Avenu Malkeinu, Avenu Malkeinu. Think about, the energy we need to put out, to make ourselves better this day. Our Father, our King, have mercy on us and answer our prayers, though we are undeserving. Show us your righteousness and kindness and save us. It's about us saving us. Now, one of my favorite parts of the Yom Kippur service, I know for a lot of people it's different parts, but one of my personal favorite parts is when the priestly blessing would be given. It's when Mr. Spock learned to do the Vulcan sign, the live long and prosper. And I always loved this part because the Kohanim, of which I'm one, wrap themselves up like ghosts. And of course, I simply viewed it as the ghostly blessing. And I do have like a full ghost size talit, which I'm not wearing today, but I do love to wrap myself up in that and do the ghostly blessing. Yevarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. May God bless you and safeguard you. Ye'er Adonai panav eilecha v'hunecha. May God illuminate His countenance for you and be gracious to you. Yisa Adonai panav eilecha v'yasem lecha shalom. May God turn His countenance to you and establish peace for you. And may you all be sealed in the book of life. A good shofar blower will blow the shofar. Thank you, friends. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for joining me for the Yom Kippur service. Be well, be happy, be healthy. Be yourselves. Be who you want to be. Be who you were meant to be. Yom Kippur. It's your one chance to give up something, to afflict, to degrade, to demonstrate that it is an exchange. You do, God does. When you put an effort in, and when you show your intent, your kavanah, you move forward, free of the burdens you've put yourself under. And you see, yes, you give up something to get something greater, freedom. And yes, my friends, the juice is worth the squeeze. Have a fantastic day. Have a wonderful breaking of the fast. Look forward to seeing you. We'll be doing the Song of Moses at the end of this week. Anyhow, take care. We'll see you soon. Bye.